beings are designed to create things. It's part of our core genetic makeup to make stuff and put it out into the world. But even though we're built to make things, to share our creative work with the world, it doesn't mean that we are able to extract the maximum amount of creative value out of every single moment of every single day. In fact, if you're anything like me, I'm sure that you have run into creative blocks from time to time. For me, it is not an irregular thing. I've spent all of my life making music and have recently turned more towards entrepreneurship, but whether or not I am building a track or building my business, there are times when I will sit down at this desk with the intention of making something that in my mind is going to be wonderful, and instead I'll be met with crickets. Now, as I've talked to other creative people in my life, both musicians and non-musicians, I've discovered that having a creative block is not an uncommon thing. For me, I had to figure out how to get past those creative blocks, because early in my life, I would sit down and I wouldn't be able to get past it, and I would feel like the whole day was lost. But as I've gotten older, I've developed a few different tools that I can now rely on to pull me out of that creative block and get me back on track. So the first method is to just hit the reset button. For me, this looks like getting out of my mind and into my body. Basically, it means I have a quick workout. Now, it doesn't mean I get changed, I drive to the gym and I get on the treadmill for an hour or lift weights or whatever. By the time I've gotten changed and gotten to the gym, I've already wasted another 30 minutes of my day. And then on top of that, by the time I finish there and come home, that means I've wasted more time, and I've basically wrecked half of my day trying to get out of the creative block, and there's no guarantee that I'm going to be able to sit down and do the thing again. So what I've devised is a system where I can have a very brief, very quick workout, basically on site, so I can immediately flip from that back to my desk and then get moving. I have a little setup down the hall where I have a pull-up bar, a couple of little push-up bars, and then a yoga mat, so I can do pull-ups, push-ups, squats, and sit-ups in rapid succession, just in my plain day-to-day clothes for 5 to 10 minutes, get my blood pumping, get my mind off of whatever it was, that negative feedback loop that was preventing me from doing the thing I wanted to do. And then on the other side of that, I'm breathing a little bit harder. I can drink a big sip of water, sit down at this desk, and my mind is sort of magically cleared of all the clutter that I had before. Now, if that doesn't work, the second method I like to use is to take a bit of a longer reset to get my mind back in order. So usually for me, this looks like a walk. Now, I'm blessed to have a walking trail right next to my house here, so I can just walk out the front door and go on like a little quarter-mile hike through the woods. It's a nice little paved path. It's an easy flat walk, but I'm out in nature, sunshine on my face, and I can just walk with the sound of the birds, the sound of the breeze, and sort of get my mind reset and disconnected from whatever it was that was in here that was sort of getting me in a negative feedback loop and preventing me from being as creative and as productive as I wanted to be. And usually by the time I get back, my mind is clear. I can come here and sit back down and I can get things back on track. Now, of course, there are some times when I don't want to go and do a quick workout, or it's too cold and it's rainy and I can't go outside. And sometimes I'll do that workout and it won't work. And sometimes I'll go on that walk and it won't work. What do I do when that happens? For me, I have learned that the way I can sort of hack my brain into being productive and being creative, as ridiculous as this sounds, is to just start being productive and being creative. Now that sort of sounds like, well, if you're sad, just be happy. It's not what I mean. Basically, it's this. I pick a task and I just start doing the task. No matter how bad or good the results may be, I'm not worried about that. For me, usually this looks like writing. Usually like a free writing exercise, just using the Notes app on my computer. I'll start a new note and I'll just start brain dumping onto the page. Regardless of whether or not I'm trying to film a video like this, write a song, write a blog post, edit something, whatever it is, if I can't find sort of the means to get on task with that creative endeavor, I'll start by writing. I'll do a free writing exercise, dump onto the page. By the end of it, I've gotten whatever it was in my head sort of cleared out. I've gotten the pipe sort of cleaned out, and then I can focus on something else, which usually is that creative endeavor or that productivity endeavor that I've been trying to get after for so long. Now, this third method is not an uncommon practice among creative people. In fact, Ed Sheeran has famously gone on record in saying that the way he gets to write good songs is by writing bad songs first. So he likens it to a pipe full of water that starts out with sludge coming out. So you've got to turn on the water and let all the dirty, muddy, gross water sort of flow out of that pipe before the clean water comes out, and that's the good stuff. I kind of use that method without songwriting. I do it with just writing on the page. Ed Sheeran does it with songwriting. So the first handful of songs he might turn out in a writing session could be trash. They probably are trash. Whatever I write on this page, I don't plan to keep it. I'm just going to delete it later or never read it again and keep it. But it's not meant to be put anywhere. It's only meant for me to sort of clear out that mud from the pipe so that I can get to the good stuff ultimately. Now, because you're watching this video, I'm sure that you are a creative-minded person just like me, and you have run into this problem in the past. So if you don't have a toolkit yet to navigate this, hopefully these 3 tips will help you. I recommend giving each of them a try and see if they don't help you overcome that creative block if and when it inevitably happens again in the future to all of us. So that's it for this one. If you want to check out something else from me and my channel, you can watch this right here. And as always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.